Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mind of STEM, where you'll get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm your host, Leon Jones, and today I'm going to get into another type of science. And this science involves plants. And the science I'm going to talk about is horticulture. Now, there are a number of colleges that offer courses in horticulture, but many of us don't know what horticulture is. So, what I'm going to do is give you a synopsis of what horticulture is. So, the title of this video is Understanding Horticulture. Now, this comes from the cinecause.org. The cinecause.org. I'm using their information because, according to this site, this or these individuals are ones who have studied horticulture. Now, what is horticulture? Basically, horticulture is an unfamiliar term to many people. Of course, many of us don't study plants. We grow plants, but we don't know how plants are grown. Now, a number of us could say horticulture is a breakoff of biology. Now, biology is a life science. You have entomology, ecology, those types of sciences. But horticulture, what many people are told about horticulture is that it's a science that people care for houseplants, growing tomatoes in the garden, mowing lawns, landscape management, anything that deals with planting. Now, there are other key terms within horticulture. There's botany, there's ornamental horticulture. Of course, you talk about landscape horticulture, nurseries, garden centers, foliage plants. But the real definition of horticulture is a segment of the agricultural industry. Now, the term horticulture literally means the culture of a garden. However, the term has taken on a broader context. Horticulture includes the production and the use of plants for food, comfort, and beautification. Now, what I mean by beautification, and people don't know this, there is a field, and I'll get into that in another video, called landscape architecture. And landscape architecture uses a lot of horticulture because when you do landscape architecture, you're basically doing landscape design. Now, there's dendrology as well. Dendrology is about shrubs and, I believe, wooded types of plants. Now, one must understand this. Horticulture has basically, it's a direct relationship that has and exists between biology and botany. Or let me put it in this phrase. A direct relationship exists between horticulture and science. Now, the area of science that's mostly related to horticulture, and I stated it before, is botany. Now, of course, botany is the study of plants and the plant processes. Now, the field of science that deals with the cultivation of horticultural plants is known as horticultural science. That's why I believe horticulture is a science. Now, science is applied across the horticultural industry because the application of science to horticulture is called horticulture technology. Now, successful raising horticultural plants takes more than just daily watering because when you're dealing with the process of growing plants, cultivating crops, what do you need? You need time and patience. And remember, time, patience, and an understanding of diverse scientific processes are needed to produce optimal plant growth. Now, the horticulture industry is a combination of scientific, technological, and production activities that ensure satisfaction of the customer. Now, places where you see a lot of horticulture are at your nurseries and greenhouses, because when you deal with plant science, where your greenhouses and your nurseries are designed to help the growth process of plants. In fact, your greenhouses are where your GMOs are growing. And when we talk about GMOs, they're basically engineered type vegetables. And we use a lot of GMOs today. I'll get into that at a later topic. But when we talk about horticulture, the industry can be divided up into pomology, olericulture, ornamental horticulture. Now, these are just a few areas. Of course, you have entomology, you have other branches of plant science that are more or less biological sciences that connect with horticulture. Now, when it comes to the areas that I mentioned, and I'm talking about pomology, olericulture, and ornamental horticulture, each area is unique and it has many career opportunities. Now, one thing that many of us don't know is, what is pomology? Well, pomology is the planting, harvesting, storing, processing, and marketing of fruit and nut crops. Now, fruit crops both come in large and small fruits. Now, examples of large fruits are peaches, apples, and pears. Now, small fruits include strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, almonds, pecans, and walnuts. They are popular nut crops. Now, when we deal with the area of olericulture, that involves the production of vegetable crops, and that includes planting, harvesting, storing, and processing and marketing of vegetable crops. Sweet corn, tomatoes, snap beans, lettuce, they're examples. Now, the big one that many of us have heard of, and you come into a greenhouse or a nursery and you look at decorative plants, it's known as ornamental horticulture. And that's the growth and use of plants for the beauty and decorative process. Now, a lot of landscape architects utilize ornamental landscape, or they use ornamental horticulture in landscape architecture, because landscape architects are doing land designing. They design where all your plants and your trees and your shrubs and your flowers are supposed to go. These are the individuals that are involved in designing drainage, hydrology. They are on a line of civil engineers, but they don't get into the structural part. They just basically do a lot more of your land design. Now, they can get into land development, but ornamental horticulture involves the production and use of woody and herbaceous plants. Now, we can also call that dendrology. A lot of surveyors, when they go out to survey, they do topos. These are the plants that they mark, because these are the plants that have to be ID'd in case a contractor wants to cut them down for a building. But when you hear of herbaceous plants and woody plants, that's also known as dendrology. Now, because of the use of green plants, the ornamental horticulture industry is often referred to as the green industry. Now, the ornamental horticulture is divided into two categories as well. Again, there's landscape horticulture and floriculture. Now, both involve the use of flowering and foliage plants. Now, foliage plants are basically used for their colorful greenery or leaves. Now, floriculture is the area of ornamental horticulture associated with the production and use of flowers, potted plants, and annual bedding plants. Now, it includes the use of floral products and the use of it includes the use of floral products if you are a florist. Now, what is included with these uses of plants? Poinsettias, carnations, philodendrons, they're common plants. Now, with the production and use of plants to beautify the environment, that's known as landscape horticulture. Now, landscape horticulture includes designing plans for landscapes, and that's what a landscape architect does. Installing landscapes as specified in the plans, maintaining the landscapes, maples, oaks, forsythia, honeysuckle, English ivy, peonies, and Kentucky bluegrass are very common when it comes to landscape horticulture. Now, most plants used in landscape horticulture are obtained from a nursery. Now, a lot of people don't really know what a nursery is, but a nursery is a place that specializes in starting plants and growing them until they're ready to be transported to landscapes. Now, nurseries produce ground cover plants, herbaceous perennials, flowering shrubs, evergreens. There's also ornamental trees for retail and wholesale sales, and I believe they're deciduous shade trees. That's also another tree that's coming from a nursery. Now, other nurseries, sometimes called sod farms, grow grass that is cut and moved to landscape projects. Now, when we talk about sod farms, if you've ever been on a construction site, you have individuals who come out and actually plant the grass. Well, the grass is in rolls of sod. It's real, but it's grown in a nursery. They come out. Once the ground has been cultivated, they place these rolls of sod. That's the grass, and it actually grows. You have to maintain it just like you do regular grass. Now, there are also garden centers. Now, garden centers are retail outlets that sell plants that are grown in nurseries along with garden supplies. Now, a garden center frequently has a greenhouse range and floral services as well. Now, in summary, when it comes to horticulture, it includes the production and use of plants and food for comfort and beautification. Now, the area of science most closely associated with horticulture is botany. I said that, which is the study of the plant and the plant process. Now, the field of science that deals with the cultivation of horticultural plants is known as horticultural science. Now, the application of science to horticulture is called horticultural technology. Again, the horticultural industry can be divided into three areas: pomology, olericulture, and ornamental horticulture. Remember, pomology is the planting, harvesting, storing, and marketing of fruits and nut crops, whereas olericulture includes the planting, vesting, processing, and marketing of vegetable crops, and the growth and use of plants for their beauty is known as horticulture, and it's also known as ornamental horticulture. Now remember, the beautification of plants is in the area of horticulture, known as ornamental horticulture. Let me make a correction on that. So when it comes to ornamental horticulture, it's divided into two categories: floriculture, which is the area associated with the production and use of flowers and potted plants, annual bedding plants, Landscape horticulture includes designing plans for landscapes, installing landscapes as specified in the plans, and maintaining the landscapes. And the nursery is a place that specializes in starting plants. And what the nursery does is grow the plants until they're ready to be transported to landscapes. And of course, you have your garden centers, which are retail outlets that sell plants that are grown in groceries along with garden supplies. So if you want to know more about horticulture, just read up on it. I'm just giving you an overview of what horticulture is. I have read up on it. It's a very interesting topic. But if you are in science and you want to go into floral science, landscape design, horticulture is the way. And if you want to see me produce more videos, please like the videos on this channel. This is a brand new channel. And if you want more of what's going on in society, subscribe to my other channel, the 401 Talk Zone radio show. You can also catch the 401 Talk Zone radio show on Blog Talk Radio every weekend. But when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and math, this is the channel that you want to come to, because I'm going to give you all kinds of information regarding science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM is the way to go. And what I'm doing on this channel is giving you an overview so you can have a chance to get into a career that is not only going to make you successful, it's going to be a fun career, and you can make a lot of money, you can be an entrepreneur. But when it comes to STEM, you got to know your math. Because remember, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And thank you for viewing this video. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's a brand new channel, so I'm working out the kinks. I'm going to improve this channel. But in the meantime, like the video and share the video. Once again, thank you for viewing The Mind of STEM. My name is Leon Jones. You have a good afternoon. I'm out.